Shalom Ashpaka, greetings to you in the name of Yahushua Mashiach, to all the 12 tribes who are scattered to the ends of the earth. This evening I would like to touch base upon a pictograph that I have been seeing since yesterday. Okay, and I've just put it on the board, and let me go with the flow of the Ruach in order to explain this to you. So what I'm going to speak to you is about Tau. All right, Tau is the covenant, all right, which Yahuah made with his people, all right, and Tau points out to the mark, to the stake. It's a hand mark, all right, and Tau has got a beautiful pictograph of the four corners of the earth, all right. So if you see here, north, south, east, and west, and it has got a vertex, all right, over here. So it makes it 5. So number 5 talks about Torah, and number 5 also talks about grace, and the four corners of the earth, where you will see in the book of Revelation it talks about the messengers held at the four corners of the earth, and the four winds from the four corners of the earth. So this is the picture of the Tau, the covenant, which is Abraham's seed from the ends of the earth is being gathered to this central point, which is Torah and grace. So it's such a wonderful pictograph that we see, and Tau has got a gematria value of 400, which is 40 into 10. The number 40 talks about affliction, 40 years in wilderness. Yahushua fasted for 40 days again in the wilderness. So number 40 talks about affliction, trials and testings that the seed of Abraham would go through, being scattered to the ends of the earth, and from where they are gathered together. All right, the picture is of not scattering but gathering together, because now what is going to get interesting over here is that Tau, all right, with a circle, all right, with a circle forms the letter Tet. So if you see over here, all right, again north, south, east, west, with a circle around it, all right, becomes the letter Tet. All right, I'll come to the letter Tet, but the circle itself is Ain, the I, all right, I. And if you see over here, Eth, they say it in Hebrew as Eth, which is Strong's H6256. All right, it has got a gematria value of 470, because Tau has got a gematria of 400 and N has got a gematria value of 70, and 70 talks about the 70 Shemitah cycles, and I'll read out a scripture in a short while, but first thing I would like to focus upon is Genesis chapter 18 verses 10, where Yahuah tells Abraham, and he said, I shall certainly return to you according to the time of life. That word time, all right, is this word Eth, all right, according to the time of life. And Sarah, your wife, is to have a son. And Sarah was listening in the tent door which was behind him. So Yahuah would turn and return, and according to the time of light, the appointed time, all right, he would bring forth the seed, the promised seed from the womb of Sarah. So that is a picture in Eth. So Eth has got a gematria value of 70. Now coming to 2 Chronicles 36:21. 2 Chronicles 36:21 talks about captivity. Okay, it says here, verse 20 onwards, and those who escaped from the sword he exiled to Babel, where they became servants to him and his sons until the reign of Persia, in order to fulfill the word of Yahuah by the mouth of Jeremiah, that is Jeremiah, until the land had enjoyed us Shabbats. As long as she lay waste, she kept Shabbats until 70 years were completed. The same thing we can read in Jeremiah chapter 25 verses 11 as well, which talks about the 70 years of captivity. Okay, so this captivity, all right, is nothing but the seed being scattered to the ends of the earth, all right, and the seed which is all across, the Abrahamic seed which is all across the earth, is being brought into the Torah of grace, all right, away from the Torah of sin and death, but into the Torah of Khan, which is grace. And the beautiful picture that we see is that there is an appointed time, and 470 is the gematria of this. So I have noted over here 470, all right, gematria of time, all right. It has, if you see here, it is broken down into 47 into 10, where number 47, the prime position. Now number 47 is a prime number, all right, and the prime position in the table for 47 is 15, all right. On the 15th position is this prime number 47. You know, prime numbers are cannot be divided, but it is only multiplied or divided by 1. Okay, so those are prime numbers. Okay, so 47 is a prime number. It cannot be divided or multiplied to get 47. Okay, except for 1 into 47 is 47. Okay, so if you see here, number 15 is the prime position, where 3 is the will of Elohim and 5 is again showing the Torah of grace, all right, Torah of Khan. So that is the picture that we see in Eth. Now coming to the letter Tet, all right, what is interesting to see is, like I said, Tet is nothing but the tau within the Ain, all right. So it forms a picture, okay, and that picture is concealed, all right. The revelation is concealed. So Tet is a basket, all right, which has got the riches and fullness of Elohim, all right, which is yet to be revealed, and it will be only revealed in the time. So when these two separate in that time, you will be able to understand. So that's a picture over there from the Old Testament. When the promised seed comes, that is Mashiach, Yahushua, all right, everything opens up to the elect, and they are able to see the covenant, all right. So that's the picture. I in seeing the Tau, the covenant. So such a beautiful picture over here. Okay, so now this Tet has got a gematria value of 9, all right. So like I said, Tet is something which is concealed, and it's like a womb. Okay, number 9 talks about gestation. A child being 9 months in its mother's womb, all right. Talks about gestation, waiting for the 10th, the fullness, the completion, all right. And it is the gathering of the seed from the 4 corners of the earth, all right, till that seed is revealed right at the end, all right. So there is a separation. There is a separation in time to show that who are the children of Elohim, all right. The whole creation, as Shaul the emissary says in Romans chapter 8, the whole creation groans in birth pangs for the revelation of the sons of Elohim. It says such a wonderful scripture which talks about the revelation of the sons of Elohim. Okay, so that is the picture that we see over here. Now Tet, if you see over here, is also a pictograph of a wheel. Okay, so if you see a chariot has got a wheel, isn't it? And what you see in this wheel is that when you turn to the book of Ezekiel, all right, Ezekiel chapter 1 verses 16, I have noted over here, all right. I'll read out the scripture. Ezekiel chapter 1 verses 16. It says, the appearance of the wheels and their works was like the appearance of beryl, and all 4 had the same form. The appearance of their works was as if as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So it is like this, a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Okay, so that's the picture of Tet. Okay, and if you see over here in Ezekiel chapter 10 verses 13, and this is so amazing because I've shared this before in my studies. When the cherubim, all right, the esteem of Yahuah is lifted up by the cherubim, they are heading towards a direction, and in their hearing they hear a voice, Gal Gal. What do they hear? They hear a voice, Gal Gal, means Gal in Hebrew means round, round, again round and round, means it's like a wheel rotating. And if you see over here, I've listed over here Galgal. Alright, so where is the wheel rotating? Now before I come to the rotation, alright, if you see over here, Galgal, Gamal is the leg, the feet walking, okay, and Lamed is with the shepherd's staff, okay. So it's the wheel is also going forward, it's a forward motion, okay. So you are taking a step forward. Similarly, the wheel is also going forward. It has got a gematria value, Gimel has got a gematria value of 3, Lamed has got a gematria value of 30. You double it because Galgal comes to 66. Now, if you just take the single word Gal, alright, Gal has got a gematria value of 33, alright, and 33, if you see, alright, you write it as 3 and 3. So I'll write it as 3 and 3. So 3 and 3 is like, see, I've mentioned over here, I needn't mention here, it's like a palindrome, I'm sorry, it's a digit mirror. You read 33 that way also, you read 33 this way also, okay. And twice Galgal, alright, if you add this, comes to 66. Man was created on the 6th day, okay, and 66 is multiple of 6 into 11, where number 6 talks about man stuck in a repetitive cycle. His wheel is going forward, but he is going in another direction. Okay, he is going in a direction, okay, in a repetitive cycle. And 11 talks about disorder, incompleteness, chaos. Okay, like number 12 is a number of congregation of Elohim, right? 12 tribes, 12 apostles of the Lamb, it says. So Judas, all right, when he fell by transgression, it was 11. So that's the reason they cast lots in order to get the number completed to 12, all right, so that there would be 12 apostles of the Lamb. So that is the picture that we see. 11 is a disorder and incompleteness. So people in carnal Torah observing the literal letter after the reality is come, the truth is come, all right, which is denoted by the Tau. So if you see over here, the cherubims in Ezekiel chapter 10 verses 13, it says Gal Gal, all right, so they come to Golgotha, this word Galgalat. Can you see here? Golgotha is the place of the skull where Yahushua Mashiach was impaled on the stake. So amazing if you understand Paleo Hebrew over here, and this becomes 466. I'm not looking at the 466 value, but I'm looking at the letter Tau. Remember? Tau. Alright, this is the covenant, the seal, the stake, or as Christians say, as cross. Alright, it's a cross sticks. In ancient Paleo Hebrew and Canaanite prototype, it was written like this, as the letter T. Okay, and in later Paleo Hebrew, it turned into cross sticks, Tau. Okay, so Galgalat, so this is where the elect go. So the cherubims are imagery of the elect, all right, in Mashiach, all right, able to reach a destination, which is the covenant, Golgotha. The others are in the cycle of 66666, the number of the beast, the mark of his name. Disorder, chaos, 6 into 11, 11 is chaos, disorder. So man was created on the 6th day. So that is the picture that we see over here, and that's the reason I mentioned in Galgalat, all right, the elect are led to Tau, all right, whereas the non-elect are continuously in the circle. Now what is also interesting to see over here is that the Hebrew word for wheel, all right, is afan, okay, and the gematria value of Aleph is 1, Wav is 6, Pei, this is Pei is 80 and Nun is 50. You add all that, it comes to 137, which is the prime position for 137. Again, 137 is a prime number, and the prime position is number 33, which again points to Gal, round. Can you see that picture over here? Afan, the wheel is going, but it has to reach its destination. And that is what we see in Ezekiel 10 verses 13. The destination is Golgotha, to Mashiach. Okay, the picture is also of gull. The Yahushua was laid in the tomb, and I think Miriam, all right, she says that there is no one to turn the stone. In another Bashara, it talks about the stone was rolled by a mighty angel, all right, the stone rolling, all right, unveiling that the risen Mashiach, the tomb is empty, he is no longer there. Such a beautiful picture, of the tombstone, wheel, all right, and the Safan 137 is a prime position, 33 which is gull, which is round, all right. And if you see over here, I have mentioned over here Afan, all right. Aleph speaks about Elohim's strength. Uau talks about the nail which is pierced. Pe is the mouth. The Bashara is preached, and Nun is the gematria value of 50, which talks about jubilee and freedom. So if this Afan reaches the Tau, all right. So Elohim's strength, all right, is put under submission is the nail which is pierced. All right. It says the weakness of Elohim is greater than men. So what is the weakness of Elohim? Could there is a scripture in the Old Testament where Yahuah says that can somebody make peace with me? All right. Or bind me, or put thorns in front of me. Will I not pass through it as a fire? I will destroy everything, all right, which will come in my way. Means there is nobody who can take hold of my strength. And here Mashiach, that same Elohim, is saying that I lay down my life by myself. So that's the reason the foolishness, all right, is of the message, all right, is the wisdom of Elohim. So Elohim put himself under submission, all right, and we shouldn't misunderstand that meekness is weakness. No, his meekness is not weakness, all right, it is his power under self-control, all right. He put himself under subjection. He allowed people to pierce him with the nails. So I hope all this is making sense, all right. So this is the nail which is pierced, all right, and Bashara preached, number 80. Again, it reminds me, all right, of I think Psalms, where it says that if man by reason of strength he attains 70 years, and if by more strength, all right, he would attain 80 years. So 80 years is considered to be a full ripe age of a man. Okay, so that is the picture that we see over here in the Bashara going in the strength. So I'll give you an example. I think Moses was 80 years when he stood before Pharaoh. Okay, I'll just confirm that. Moses. Just a moment. Yes, it says Exodus chapter 7 verses 7, and Moses was 80 years old and Aaron 83 years old when they spoke with Pharaoh. So 80 years old, and can you imagine his vigor and strength, even though when he was 120 it says that his eyesight was not dim, he was still full of vigor and strength of Yahuah that he received. Okay, so that is a picture over here, 80, and 50 is a picture of Jubilee, the resurrection, the release of the captives. All right, so that Afan reaching the Tau. So that is the picture that we see over here. Let me see if I have covered all this. Yes, I have covered. Okay, number 66 also talks about the 66 books which are inspired text. All right. So the inspired text is there, but a carnal mind will not understand what is written within it. So he will go in the cycles. He will pick up carnal things and he will go in the 6666 cycle, never achieving a Shemitah, all right, never achieving a Jubilee. So that is a picture over here. So now coming to this word tub. Okay. Now we are talking about tau in the tet and the ayin surrounding it. We see it in tub. All right. When we read, I'll read out a scripture. All right. Genesis. Let me turn to Genesis chapter 1 verses 31. Just a moment. Okay, it says, and Elohim saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So, every creation account, everything that Elohim created, all right, in Genesis, it says that it was tub, it was tub, it was good, it was good. He saw that it was good. But when it came to the creation of man on the sixth day, it says, Elohim saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. All right, because everything fell according to his plan and according to his purpose. Everything was made for himself, right? Mashiach, who was the creator? Who was our creator? Yahushua HaMashiach, he is the creator. All right, everything is made in his image, in his likeness. Man is created in his image and in his likeness. And that's the reason we see this word ma'ad tub. So this word is translated as very. All right, it's translated as very. And tub is good, very good. Now see the gematria value. Okay, ma'ad has got a gematria value of 45. And how do you come to know about this? Because mem is 40, aleph is 1. Dalit is 4, you add all this, comes to 45. Tub has a gematria value of 17, which is tet has 9, uav is 6, and bet is 2. Add all that, comes to 17. You add both this, it come to 62. Okay. Now you rearrange these words, it becomes Adam. If you put this before Dalit, it becomes Adam, which means man. See how it is, concealed. Very good. Because man, as I always say, Romans chapter 5 verses 14, for death reigned from Adam till Moses, even over those who did not sin after the likeness of Adam, who was a type of him who was to come. And 1 Corinthians 15:45 talks about Yahushua as the last Adam. So the purpose was for Yahuah to come in a body, right? So that is the picture that we see over here in tub, all right, the basket, something that is concealed and in a body. Beth is the body, and in due time it will open up. In time it will open up, and that's how you will come to know Torah and grace. That's how you will come to know the covenant, the seal, the mark, the stake. So beautiful it is if you see Paleo Hebrew in the pictographs. All right. So Adam tub is 62. Now when you read about the womb, all right, there are two words for womb used in scripture. One I already shared with you, Rakham, which has got a gematria value equivalent to Abraham. Right, I won't get into that. I've already shared. You can look at my previous videos. But I'm going to talk about this now, which is Batan. All right, Batan is also called as a womb. I've listed, sorry, here, this is Batan. Beth is value of 2, Tet has value of 9, okay, and Nun has got a value of 50. Add all this, it comes to 61, all right, which is a short of 62. One short of 62. Now I'll read a scripture, Genesis chapter 25 verses 23. It talks about I'll just come to that part. Okay, it is so interesting. Okay, now here is Ishak's wife Rebecca. There are twins in a womb. Okay, and there is a struggle in a womb. So she goes to inquire. All right, why is this happening with me? Like, there is a fight going on within a womb, a war going on. So verse 23 says, and Yahuah said unto her, two nations are in your womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from your bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. All right, so the two nations are Esau and Jacob. Jacob is covenanted, Esau is not covenanted. Esau I have hated, but Jacob I have loved, it says. Shaul, the emissary, talks in, I think, Romans chapter 9. He talks about before the children even did anything good or evil, so that election by grace should stand. Yahuah said, Esau I have hated, but Jacob I have loved. All right, so these two nations are at war. One is the children of flesh, and one is the spiritual seed, that is Jacob. All right, and the word that is translated for the womb, all right, it is strong H990, is that same word batan, this word batan. So if you see here, body, womb, something that is concealed, there is a struggle of the seed, none is the seed. So amazing it is if you understand this. Okay, now if I drop this aleph, what do I do? From this Adam, I drop this aleph, I am left with dam, tub. Dam, tub. Dam is the blood, and tub is good. So when Yahuah said that, very good, all right, he spoke everything that fell in line with his sacrifice, because Hebrews chapter 12 verses 24, I have shared this before, but I will read out the scripture so that it makes sense to the first time listeners. Verses 24, it says, and to Yahusha, the mediator of the renewed covenant, and to the blood of sprinkling that speaks better things than that of Habal or Abel. So the blood of Mashiach falling on the ground is like sprinkling, like the nail prints drip by drip, the blood is falling on the ground, speaking better things than of Abel, who was murdered by his brother, was crying out for vengeance. Here Mashiach's blood was crying out for mercy. So everything fell in perspective. Very good, because my blood is going to be shed. Okay, and if you see this word over here, all right, you reverse this word, it is mad, or I could say here, sorry, not to reverse here, meod, right, meod. All right, you take these two letters, mad. If you take these two letters, mad is a measure. Mad is a measure. So amazing it is. If you see, mem is 40 and dalet is 4, 44, 4 into 11. What does number 4 talks about? Number 4 talks about scattering to the ends of the earth. Arba, the 4 corners of the earth. And I told you 11 talks about incompleteness, chaos. All right. So that chaos, the separation, all right, the scattering will all was done for a purpose to bring his seed, all right, the Abrahamic seed, into the covenant, to the Tau, back to the covenant, to the mark, to the seal. All right. So such a beautiful picture if you understand Paleo Hebrew over here. So by adding, by dropping off the aleph, this becomes dam tub with a value of 61. So, and if you see over here, Ecclesiastic chapter 3 verses 1, it talks about everything. I'll just read out that scripture. It's talking about time. All right. Ecclesiastics chapter 3 verses 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. So everything has a season and purpose under heaven. So this is the purpose of Yahuah. His is the revelation of the covenant which was concealed, all right, now which is being opened up and shown to his elect as everything is very good. Tub, perfect ground for his blood to fall on, perfect ground to gather the Adama. Ground is called Adama in Hebrew, to gather the seed of Abraham which is fallen, all right, into himself. So such a beautiful picture, I wanted to share with you now. With this mud as the measure going out, all right, getting all the chaos, sorting out all the chaos in this world, getting the seed back by his blood. So this is the picture I wanted to share with you. I hope all this makes sense. I pray that Yahuah open your eyes to see these pictographs, how they unfold beautifully in revealing and esteeming Mashiach. Yahushua Barak you.